University of Cambridge is a brand everybody's familiar with, but actually it's an umbrella term for 170, 180 institutions. That's colleges, departments, faculties. The city centre is the campus at Cambridge. Cambridge has always had a sense of mobility. Students, researchers have always moved between colleges and departments. Nowadays, the university is a research-heavy organisation, and you can no longer do 21st century science in a historic medieval course. So it's investing heavily in new buildings out in the west and the south of the city. And part of that is making sure that people can still roam and still interact. The Aruba solution is really allowing that mobility. When I came to this role several years ago, there were 150 different wireless solutions. There was no central offering that was providing what people were after, and so each institution or college or department has created their own homebrew, their own developed wireless. The challenge was to create a seamless estate where you can roam between all the buildings and colleges and the departments. It's been an iterative process. We've started by deploying to some areas that were desperately in need of some fairly commodity wireless, and then as we've extended and our resources have allowed, we've developed and created a wireless service that's actually fit for purpose in many of the different institutions. We don't provide network technology, we provide services. It's such a large and complex and varied estate that you have to follow the data. You have to have visibility to see how people are using it, where they're using it, where there's bottlenecks, where there's issues on the collegiate network. We're very much trying to pursue a solution that continues to meet the user's expectations.
To get the infrastructure into a building, we have to be very conscious of the environment. So you may have a very ornate environment you have to put the equipment in, but they may have to be hidden. Some of these walls can be 3 foot thick in places. That means getting signal into areas is very difficult, especially if I have restrictions on where I can place the equipment. So you have to have some degree of sympathy to the building's structure, but you also need to have your radio frequency engineer's hat on to get good coverage. Probably the most challenging environment we've had in Cambridge is covering the outdoor spaces. We had to work out how to get our network to those locations, so we extended our fibre optic network. We then had to re-engineer lampposts to accommodate the access points. In the last 12 months alone, we've deployed an additional 1,000 access points, taking us up to roughly 5,000. Well, look above you. It's on this CCTV column here.
Oh, fantastic.
And we've got our fibre optic network into the base of the column. So we work together with the City and County Council to deploy wireless access points in the city. The best characteristic of the Aruba solution is its flexibility. We need to have a solution that is flexible to the needs of all the institutions out there. And I need to have management oversight of that entire deployment. We use the Aruba Airwave platform, and that allows me to sit in my office in the west of Cambridge and see what's going on in the radio frequency environment in buildings on the other side of Cambridge. We have 320,000 unique devices on the network every month, and on the wireless we're shifting about 800 terabytes of data, which is absolutely massive. It's about 25% of all our internet traffic, which was in single digits when we started this in 2012. Cyber security is very important for the university at the moment. Inbuilt into the Aruba controllers is the policy enforcement firewall, which we use quite heavily to lock down the controllers. We don't lock people out of the network, but we also make sure it's secure.
Aruba has been a very dependable infrastructure. I think it's going to be interesting to see quite how IoT evolves over the next few years. We're going to see far more devices. We're going to have less control over those devices, and we're going to have to respond to that fairly dynamically. We certainly want to go to more city centre locations. We're working to try to get wireless at the local railway station, because that's where people first arrive at Cambridge and that's their first interaction. The Aruba solution just gives us that flexibility, that ability to respond to what's out there. I'm very optimistic that we'll continue to be relevant as we go forwards.